Patreon member shout out. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. And then definitely go subscribe to Veve Vault and follow at Hey David Don on Twitter. Links down below. So, there's a couple of things I wanted to go over. Yesterday on Saturday, we had a Dan Crothers go on the Women X Veve stream, and honestly, as much as I love me and Dan Lee and Poor Man Printing and Hello K and Kyle Wilson and just everyone, and again, even me, I have a couple of cool people coming on the podcast. If it has to do with Veve, I like that they're getting that they had Jeremy Pador, they had Dan Crothers, they had a bunch of really cool people on the Women X Veve. They've had Trevor and Reese. It's because me as one person, or let's say Taps as another person, or Cavell Anderson as another person, we're really just one person, one mind that questions are coming from. And some of the questions that the girls asked was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Well, because there's a whole bunch of them, and they're just like going back and forth on and they're asking some like hard-hitting questions like, hey, what was like your biggest failure? What were some things that like you learned from? I was like, oh man, they're going there. It was a really great interview. Like, again, just totally watch that. Just go to Women X Veve. It's so good. But some of the things I wanted to talk about, which will probably make its way into a Taps Trades video, I think Dan Lee's already done something as well, is two things. One, the Veveverse. Two, the Master Collector Program. What we know so far, the road so far, is that the Veveverse will be probably before the end of Q2 of next year. So in the first half of next year is when we're going to get our real good first look at the Veveverse and what some of it might look like. He said, yeah, you're going to be able to go and purchase land, and you're going to have everyone, even if you don't purchase land, you're going to have a little bit of a home. Your showroom is going to be your home, basically. And what happens with that is that even though it's not on any land in the Veveverse, it's going to exist in what would be called the ether, or the ether. I think it would just be called the ether. And it's attached to the Veve world, the Veveverse, but it's not in it. If you buy land, you could put your showroom or your house on that piece of land, and you could make it as many levels as you want, up, maybe as many levels down as you want. And I think down would be cool. A lot of men would like having man caves. I think that'd be pretty legit. You go in, and then, oh, you can explore. Picture Pokemon or any old school Game Boy Nintendo game where the doors aren't locked. You could just go in and look at everyone's what they're doing. You could talk to people. I think that would be really fun if you have an avatar and you just place it like while you're away, while you're sleeping, and it just has a generic response. Like, hey, Chavez here. Or if somebody has it their face, you know, they have it scarred, and to make it look like Zuko, hey everyone, Zuko here. Just a little away message for people like, oh, this is who lives here. This is somebody that, here's their away message. You know, they'll be back soon. Maybe they'll have a little time on when they'll be back. And you could take a look at everybody's artwork. You know, how people go around Veve Vault, almost like they're bar hopping. They're Veve Vault hopping. They could do that in the metaverse, and I cannot wait for that. So some really good gems that he dropped. That was the one thing. He did say in about 6 months, which would take us to about the end of Q1 or the beginning of Q2 of next year. And again, the timeline for that is 100% okay with me. If they need to, why I'm saying before the second half of the year is going to be the first half is because every now and then some things are delayed, and they would much rather go and say like, hey, just give us a little bit of space on this timeline. We don't want to rush it because if we rush it, there might be bugs, and it's definitely what you don't want to do. That also gives us a lot of time for Omi to go up and for us to purchase land with that Omi. If it were to come out tomorrow where Omi is still at 0.005, okay, well, how much of my Omi would I have to spend in order to go get a good amount of land in the Veveverse? And then what happens, which one will go up higher? Which one will increase in value higher? And you don't really know at this point. Even, when we get, let's say, the end of the year, we're at 3 cents, 5 cents, whatever, it's going to be, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to buy a bunch of land, but you actually don't know how, are you going to 10x your money on your land? Are you going to 100x your money? I mean, we don't know. So, that being said, I am 100% okay with this coming out as late as they want. Hell, do Q3 of next year. But, excuse my language, I should have said heck. But if they go into do decide on, March or April, let's say spring of next year, Omi, in my opinion, at that time, will be like 7 cents. And At that point, okay, well, if you want to spend, let's say you have 2 million OMI, well, what is 1 million out of that 7 cents? Sorry, had to check my math. It would be about $70,000. And do you want to spend that much on land in the Veveverse? Well, you can get that or a Donnie. So whichever one you want. For me, I would much rather spend that on land in the Veveverse because Donnie's already mooned a lot. And as far as him saying, hey, we want to make it fair, they will. Everyone will have a fair opportunity to get land at the beginning. That being said, there is no issue, there is no clause, there is no rule saying that if Lucius Malfoy buys some land and Dashi says like, hey, you just paid 100,000 OMI for that land. I'm going to give you 500,000 OMI for that land you just bought. And Mr. Lucius Malfoy, he loves money. He's like, okay, I'll do that. So there is no clause, there's no rules against people buying up other people's land. Kind of like the same with NFTs. You want to have blind boxes to give everyone a fair shot. And if they, whatever they get, great. If they could choose to sell it, they could choose not to sell it. That's just up to that person. I'm gonna spend so much money on that. Like it's gonna be a little ridiculous. The other thing that he said was the Master Collector program, and what I did after I heard about that, the Master Collector program, saying that it is going to have, the reason they don't have comics as sets is because, well, there could only be 500 people to ever get this set because of the way the comics are drawn in there. But comics will be included in points toward the Master Collector program. OMI staking, like OMI staking and OMI utility, is going to be separate from the Master Collector program. Like they do have some overlapping ideas and things you're gonna get points for being a collector, but they also did say that it wouldn't really be too fair if someone like me could go in and just stake 50 million OMI and still have 50 million OMI left to do whatever with, and I would just be, the head, one of like the top 1% of the Master Collector program. It says that doesn't really reward just the collectors. If you're just a collector, let's say like Ray Fixie, or I think Biscuits has a really big collection, or Claire Griffin has a huge collection. I think it's bigger than mine. And she mentioned on the stream, it's like, oh, hey, I have. She's kind of like a mob boss. Like I have 2 sets of books. I have one VV account that I show my husband, and another account that's all mine. So he doesn't know how much we spend, and it would benefit those people a lot more if it's just a collector driven. So again, people that really aren't too much into OMI, they couldn't really care one way or the other about the coin. They can go in and say, hey, I just have a bunch of collectibles, and they'll be higher on the Master Collector list. Certain amount of sets and certain amount of collectibles will be given you points as well, and you will get more points every day. You can never stop. Like if somebody is, level 50, I'm going to stop. Someone can come in and become level 51, 52, 53, so on and so forth. So after hearing that, I did complete the full set today, or yesterday, of that Throg drop, Frog Ylnir, Throg, the Frog of Thunder. And I did get Professor Utonium. I do believe that set is very, very undervalued, that Powerpuff Girls set, because there's so few mints in those. So even though I won't be able to complete that set, that Powerpuff Girls set, until next year, because I don't have $70,000 to pay for Donnie, excuse me, right now, I would basically go in and say, all right, I'll get other sets in conjunction with what's in my budget. Maybe the Mondo series would be next, or maybe complete the Captain America set. But I believe, and again, I know this kind of get a little off topic, is that Season 1 is just going to be the best. Season 1 is just going to be one that everybody wants as we get to Season 3 in October, and then Season 4 in spring of next year. That's just, again, just my opinion. But everyone please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Let me know which updates you're most excited for. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. And if you want to rent out space on my fridge, totally let me know. All right, I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.